Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the Weekend ForceCast. I'm joined by the ever amazing original Trilogy Talk, even though he's been talking smack behind closed doors. And we got the amazing hot tub best friend Swooner. And today, OTT said he has a list of intriguing questions for us to answer. With that being said, we're gonna get to these intriguing list of questions that's been bothering OTT.
That's
That's
a
that's
bit
not
of
what
an overstatement. A bit of an overstatement, but
happened.
no, I was just gonna check. We haven't talked in a while, so I was just gonna check in with y'all first. Like, how y'all doing? How's life? And how are y'all feeling about Star Wars right now? There was a Mando trailer that dropped. It was a couple weeks ago now. Is that right?
Yeah,
People talking about Ahsoka season two, etc. So what's up, you guys? Are you guys stoked about this stuff, or how you feeling?
I'll be honest with you. Haven't watched the trailer. I'm just gonna watch the
Really?
movie when it comes out. Like
I
I
mean,
know
you're
that
not
probably sounds dumb
missing.
from a Star Wars channel, but like I don't know. People like I've heard so much stuff of like, oh, well, the trailer for this was good and the trailer for that was good, but like the movie wasn't good. Like I don't know. You can get hype from a trailer, but you're not getting substance from a trailer. That's why it's a trailer. So I've
Yeah,
just kind of pushed that off to the side um,
That's
with any of that. And like, I'm not going to make a reaction video to the Mando stuff because, like, where I want them to go with Mando isn't going to be what they're going to do with Mando.
interesting.
But in
And
terms of,
this is because it's just there's no chance of it ever being what you want it to be, or
I don't think they'll go back to it. I think Grogu is too
okay,
much of an integral character to let Mando go back to being this like Western bounty hunter that we wanted. I think him and Grogu are tied at the hip, and I don't see them killing off their toy machine anytime soon.
yeah. Unfortunately, I mean, you're not missing anything by not watching the trailer. It's a decent trailer, but it doesn't feel like a movie trailer. It feels like I'm getting ready to watch season 4 of The Mandalorian, which,
yeah,
I mean, like I'm with Clone. I know they're not going to go back to, Mando being a badass. I don't know what it is. I mean, I know what it is. It's Grogu equals dollar signs to these guys. Is that even going to, it's been forever since we've seen Mando and Grogu. It's been forever since there's been a movie in the theaters. Is that going to be enough to actually, like Outer Rim in the chat? Is that gonna? It feels like it's 4 years too late. You know.
You know what's
yeah.
funny, Swoon? We've been talking on our accolade series about how they shoot the series like they should have shot a movie and then they just clip it. If that feels like the series, then I think we're going into a good place because one of our issues with the series is that it feels like a movie just clipped up. So if
Yeah,
that's the
but
case, I think we're
Mando
heading towards a
is the
good place.
one show that doesn't feel like a movie. It feels like a show. I don't know if I'm excited because it's the first Star Wars movie in God knows how long that we've gotten, but it's who really asked for it? Who genuinely asked for a Mandalorian and Grogu movie? I've been wanting to see an Old Republic movie since I was like, I
Well,
don't even know.
I think this is them testing the waters again. I mean, obviously Disney's been testing the waters a lot post COVID, and they've had a lot of successes and they've had some misses in terms of movies that they've released. But this is them really testing the market with Star Wars and then kind of getting back to putting Star Wars in theaters after we were really led to believe that Disney Plus was the way to go. So, if we start getting movies from the characters that we're seeing right now, I'm okay with it. I like the way that the trailer poster looks, but I just haven't watched the trailer.
See, I'm not a big fan of their poster either. Like you got Mando and Grogu. Like I understand they're gonna be all over. Like they should be like the center of like the center of attention on the poster, but they literally have like 4 or 5 images of Mando and Grogu like piled on top of each other. And then the title card, like the font and the actual title of the movie, they could have done way better than just the Mandalorian and Grogu and ripping off the Indiana Jones logo.
Yeah, I remember telling Clone I thought that the font was a little bit, I don't know, to me it just struck me as like really kind of old school, like classic movie kind of. I wasn't sure where they're going with the font. I think it hit Clone as sort of comic booky. To me, it was like more old King Kong movies. It was just weird. I don't know. It just didn't vibe as a Mando poster for me. I don't know. I thought the trailer was. I didn't get a lot out of the trailer. Like you don't. It's like some vague exploration of some action scenes that might happen. You don't really get any sense of whetting your appetite of what the actual story might be. If
Yeah,
that makes sense. It's kind of just a collage of images, right? And like you said, maybe a teaser for another season is kind of what it felt like.
yeah, and I'm fine with
Yeah.
them not actually giving out anything for the story, because if you go back
Mhm.
and you watch like the old trailers, like for like the original 6 movies,
Yeah.
everything's given away in every single trailer. Like
Too much in the trailers. Yeah.
not even just Star Wars, but just movies in general. Like that's just been a big complaint that I've seen for a while. Is like, oh, the trailer came out, I already watched the movie.
That's
So
my
Yeah.
dad right there. My dad all the time would not take us to the movies because he was like, "You saw 3 trailers, like it's good enough." And I'm like, "Come on, dude, let's go to the movies." Now I'm one of 8, so like it was just expensive to go to the
That's an
movies anyway.
expensive endeavor, man. Yeah.
Yeah, could you imagine like
Yeah.
doing
Oof.
that today with
Mm-mm.
like one of 8? Not gonna. I mean, not gonna happen.
Nah, it's a lot, man. That's a lot.
So yeah, we really had to pick and choose. Grateful that he let us go see Revenge of the Sith in theaters. That was my first ever Star Wars movie in theaters.
oh yeah.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
Had you seen the first two like on DVD or something?
Nope, that was my first
That's the
ever
first Star Wars
experience.
experience was watching
That
Revenge of the Sith.
that was my first ever Star Wars experience was Revenge of the Sith. The
Wow.
only other Star Wars experience I've had other than that to that time, because like I've said a lot, my cousin got me into it, was playing like Star Wars games on his PS2 and then like just spinning like the flick out sabers and then just playing pretty much bloody knuckles with those. So that was like,
Gotcha.
and honestly, like it really did enough. Like kind of just watching that movie does enough to let you know what happened kind of before that and after, like what you need to know. You don't really, I don't know. It probably sounds bad to say this. You don't really have to watch 1 or 2. You probably only have to watch 3.
Interesting. I
Unless you
mean,
want to
it's
know about Padme or whatever, like or like Qui-Gon, but like I don't know. I think all those characters are at their best in 3. Well, besides
so you
Qui-Gon, he ain't nowhere in 3.
so you think the first two prequels are not really necessary story-wise?
Well, in chatting with you,
This is a hot take.
my whole view on the prequels
What
has
did I do?
changed.
Dang, what did I do, man? All I
I've
do is
joined
talk about how much I love the prequels.
I've joined original trilogy talk conversion therapy.
That's it. That's
See, I
it.
don't give a fuck how much
Yeah.
you want to glaze the original trilogy. Prequels are way better than the original trilogy, even though the original
Yeah.
trilogy's got a special place in my heart. I mean, for fuck's sakes, Empire's the best movie ever made, period. But there's just something about the prequels.
Yeah.
5-year-old
It's,
me is like, it's because the flashy lightsaber fights, but I've gone through a lot of fucking shit. So, like, to see Anakin's story, not just as Darth Vader, like, a lot of his shit hits home to me. I mean, I haven't gone off and killed fucking sand people or anything, but
That's a good thing. That's a good thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Best
Yeah.
movie, like out of every movie you've ever seen,
of
you put
every movie I've ever fucking seen, Empire.
Best movie ever. Interesting.
I don't know if a Star Wars is in my top 3 of like I love Star Wars, but I don't think a Star Wars is in my top 3.
Of
Bro,
best movie. You mean do you draw a difference between favorite movies and best movies?
Dude,
Ooh.
Empire's not even my favorite movie.
You
The
just think
Star
it's like
Wars-
empirically the best movie. Okay.
yeah, like in
Just
my
cinema-wise,
opinion, of
yeah.
all the movies that I've watched, like
Yeah.
Empire is just that guy. Like it's that guy,
Yeah.
pal.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
don't. Yeah, I don't know. Like for me, my number one is always Forrest Gump. Like
Mhm.
I love Forrest Gump. I have written an endless story for Forrest Gump in my head that just allows it to continue where like every spawn of Forrest has their own unique story because Forrest Gump is like this character placed in time, like and is able to do all the historical events. Um and then my number two, and it sucks is I can't remember. I think it's called Gangs in New York or something like that. It's the Leonardo DiCaprio, Daniel Day-Lewis movie.
Yeah. Scorsese, I think, right?
Yeah, like I think that's my second one,
Interesting.
and then three. I don't know what I'd put at three. I don't know. I just have a wide variety of movies. I mean,
Empire Strikes Back is not even Clone's favorite OT movie.
No, I
oh
know.
yeah.
He thinks it's the weakest one. He prefers the Ewoks over Empire, which is fucking insane.
Yeah.
I love
Yeah.
Ewoks.
Yeah.
Ewok, E-roll.
I don't know, brother. Once I met the main Ewok and he was a fucking dickhead, they can all fucking burn for all I care.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, I feel like that's a little strong.
Hey, it only takes one
Alright.
rotten fruit to spoil the bunch.
Let's see here. So you don't like Ewoks, I take it. That's
No, not anymore. Never have, never will.
Wait, you said not anymore, never have, never will. What's going on with that? Wait a second.
He had a
He
bad.
determined that first Ewok never had a chance because he was like never have.
He had a bad experience with Mr.
The
Davis.
Ewok at Disney? Oh, with Warwick Davis?
Yeah, I met
I
Warwick
always thought
Davis
he was so
at
cool.
ICCC, and he was kind of like he had a lot going on, but like
Yeah.
at the same time, like with the amount that he had going on, like in his personal life, he should have just canceled the convention.
Give him the
Because-
benefit of the
bled
doubt
through.
then.
It wasn't just what?
I said give him the benefit of the doubt then. If you know he had that stuff going on.
Yeah, but
Unless
it's not just me. It was multiple people the whole time that he was talking to them. He was,
Mm.
thanks.
Yeah, but
Thanks.
like have you met Star Wars Closet? He doesn't respond to anybody. Everybody thinks he's great. So like
Ragging on Closet again. Oh man.
yeah,
Oh
But I mean,
man.
even before then, like whenever I watch Return of the Jedi, like once like the speeder bike chase is over, like
Mhm.
I walk out of the room and let the movie play, and I come back whenever Leia is what'd you say?
that's a good joke. Yeah, I don't I've done a good job of this recently. No longer holding celebrities on a pedestal to be like amazing people. Like they are just people and they're high like he was hired to do a task. I mean, if he's a jerk or whatever in his personal life, I mean that's who he is, but like I don't
Might have had a bad day or something. You know, who
Yeah.
knows? We all have
give
them.
I give everybody a little grace. I mean, also still haven't met the man. I mean,
There was
when you're
other
paying
people that
money
had
too.
great experiences. It was just me and like everybody else that I saw personally. He was just always on his phone instead of engaging with the conversation. So it was like, okay, whatever.
I'm gonna start grabbing clips of Nerd on his phone when he's like talking to people.
Oh, what? Pulling up questions and making sure that my questions don't that my phone don't fall asleep.
And then you can
It's okay.
you can have a meme of Nerd talking to somebody, but he's on his phone and just write Warwick Davis. Just write Ewok. That Ewok.
No.
It's rough.
But it's not even like I mean it's not the like you were like, oh, CloneForce likes the Ewoks. Like I like episode 6 more than I like episode 5. I didn't say I specifically like 6 because of the Ewoks.
Right. He
do.
likes Jedi overall.
Yeah.
It's
Like,
it's more
I
about
mean,
the
I do.
Sarlacc.
I do enjoy Anthony Daniels like saying that he can't impersonate a deity and then proceeding to impersonate a deity for the rest of the movie.
Yeah.
Like just immediately overwrites his own programming just to do it. Oh, I just think it's fun, and like the reason why that one's more fun is because of what they were able to do. Like it's kind of a culmination of all that effort and all that work, and like also technological advances that they put in. The fact that like that Luke is doing acrobatics and his lightsaber is flying. Like it's not like he doesn't look clumsy with a lightsaber, and it doesn't feel as clumsy as the original Obi-Wan and Darth Vader fight. And I do like though I say that they feel clumsy, I understand what went into it to make those happen. They were like astronomical feats for their time, um but then like the the Last Jedi, Return of the Jedi really just takes everything that they've learned in the previous two movies and just adds it all up right there, and that's why like that one feels like that one just feels the best of the original trilogy to me.
Interesting. I would say if we're talking about like just on a technical level, obviously in Jedi, like the space battle, I think is you have like, multiple elements moving around and there's a ton of wizardry going into that part of it. But I think for me the Empire saber fight is stronger than the one in Jedi. It's longer for one thing, obviously, but I think it's only like maybe one or two shot or one or two scenes in Jedi. But I think that they did a better job of it in Empire, like in terms of the choreography and I guess Star Wars was the struggle where they were just doing like the rotoscoping and the sticks, and they had the little light reflective cover on the sabers and all that, and that was like um, really tough to work with, which they changed in Empire and Jedi. But I don't know. For me, I think Empire's choreography saber fight is stronger. Obviously, there's a lot of emotion in Jedi, especially at the end of the fight.
Well, and it's not
But
like I put Return of the Jedi up here and like Empire's all the way down here, like all the way at the bottom off screen. Like it's not
right,
like there's that big of a gap. Like I told you the one day like I was watching it and I was like, hey, it's still not my favorite, but I had a good time.
right, right.
Like it's not like I'm not going out of my way to say like, oh, Empire's a terrible movie. It's just not
Yeah,
Return of the
and
like
that's
Empire's not a bad
just
movie. It's just not
it's
Return of the Jedi for me.
it's just not Return of the Jedi. It's different. They're
Yeah.
two different movies. Yeah, I mean, I think in terms of what Nerd was saying, I don't know if I'd put it as the best movie of all time, but there's definitely an argument for that. Like if I'm thinking of like what are the greatest movies in the history of cinema, I mean Schindler's List, Shawshank, there's all these movies you could think of that are like, depending on what people's vibe is, I guess it's all subjective at the end of the day. But man, it's up there. Like it just as a film, I think it's just so well crafted. Like each scene is kind of like its own little, I don't know, its own little symphony, I mean, musically for one thing, but then just the way each scene and the dialogue is crafted and just the flow and the pacing and how they manage to do this sort of dual story, right, where the heroes are split up, and somehow that works and bringing them back together at the end. And I mean, I think Empire is like the foundation for like all the rest of the future of Star Wars that comes after that. Like so many things originated in Empire,
Yeah.
that we consider just basic tropes of the Star Wars universe now, right? So yeah, no, I think I'd have to think about it, but I don't have any issue with that statement, or that it's the best film of all time. Like it's really strong, man. Thematically, philosophically, craftsmanship wise, I mean, they were just on it,
I don't want to not acknowledge Outer Rim here, but he says because I said he was impersonating a deity, and he rewrites his own program. He says, but then he can't speak Sith in the Rise of Skywalker, and that's just because obviously that's the only reason. Why can't you do it? Because you ever have your mom just do that? Because like, why can't we get this? Because why? Because I said so. Don't ask another goddamn question. But, like,
That's the reason, damn it.
yeah.
Original prop sabers were heavy. Yeah, no, that's true. Very
Yep.
true. Yeah.
I understand.
So I have a question for you on the clone on the Return of the Jedi front that I was thinking about the other day. Super nerdish stuff. Um, so Luke, when he's talking to Leia, right, and on Endor, revealing their siblingship and all that, he says, if I don't come back, you're the only hope for the Alliance, right? She's the other hope.
Yeah.
But then, so assuming if I don't accomplish the mission, you're the only hope. But then when he's talking to the Emperor, he seems to think that he's inconsequential. Like he says, soon I'll be dead, and you with me, because the rebels are, he thinks it's a secret or a surprise attack or whatever. Um, so like, what's up with that? Like, on the one hand, he thinks that how inconsequential does he think he is to this victory where he's able to tell Leia, I think you're the only hope if I don't come back. But then when he's with Vader and the Emperor, he's like, yeah, we're all gonna die because the rebellion's kind of already got it in the bag. He's been a little overconfident, but
Yeah.
yeah, I don't
Well,
know. What do you think about that?
I think he has himself as inconsequential to really mess with the Emperor, because like the Emperor really like wants Luke by his side. Like he wants Luke to take his father's place, but also, um, I mean, you could say that what's really happening, like Luke is up there to save his father. Like that's what he goes up there for. His mission, like though it delays and it gives them time to achieve what they're doing, um, the real mission is happening on the ground. That's
Yeah.
why Leia and what Leia and Han and everybody else is doing is significantly more important than what he's doing, because he's just going up there to distract, which is why like he thinks he's inconsequential, because his only job is to stall. And that's all he really, I mean, that's all he really does. And then, I mean, he has the fight with Vader, and then he realizes that like he's more of the same. Like he's not really different from Vader until he throws the lightsaber away. Like he's really kind of a let's fight first kind of guy. And then, but I just think that he's only there to stall, because they can't take it. Nothing he can do on that base, on like the second Death Star, will take down the shield generator. So it doesn't matter what he's doing. Leia is more important than him. And also, um, Leia is more battle worn than he is. Like he knows that everything that Leia has gone through. And though like he's lost an arm, and he's battled his father, and he saw his aunt and uncle burned, like that's all recent. Leia's dealt with this her entire life. So I just think that she's better off to handle it, which is why Yoda also would have preferred to have Leia over Luke.
Okay, interesting take. Does that answer why? But I guess my question is, if he thinks he's kind of inconsequential, why does he say, "If I don't come back, you're the only hope for the Alliance"? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I think he's just trying to
I don't know.
pass on
I'm just
leadership.
I'm just asking.
Like they
Just trying to
they
pass
look,
on leadership. Okay.
yeah,
Not a
they
big,
look
not
at
a, doesn't
him.
feel like a huge contradiction to you.
Yeah, they look at him like Leia and Han are looking at him as the savior, but he's
Right.
looking at them as the savior. So
Okay.
he's kind of instilling in them like, hey, you're actually the hope.
Okay. Okay. That was question number one. Nerd, any thoughts? Are you like, who cares? I don't even turn it. I don't even
Um,
turn Jedi back on by that point. The
yeah,
speeder
I've
bike
definitely
chase
turned
straight to the saber
Jedi
battle.
back on by that point. I don't know. I never really thought of that. It's very interesting. Uh,
Mm.
Never really thought of Luke kind of just being like a staller, you know.
Yeah.
Right.
Um,
Right.
I've been actually working on something where I was actually writing and working on that the rebellion still, or the resistance still wins without Luke. Like in Return of the Jedi, like
Hmm.
so I guess already I was already writing that he was inconsequential
Yeah.
to that
Yeah.
mission.
It's a big question. Like, does the rebellion, would Vader or the Emperor, freed up from dealing with Luke, somehow influence any outcomes or not? That's an interesting question. I think for me, it's like it's never bothered me, on the in terms of the film in general, because for me, Star Wars, the OT especially, is like told in the form of mythology, and I feel like the larger scale war of the galaxy is kind of like it's like a symbolic backdrop for this internal war, that Vader and Luke are kind of dealing with, which is really much more consequential to the story, right? Like if it was just a story of the rebellion winning and yay, we win, and freedom to the galaxy, that's cool, but it's really that deeper story and the deeper stuff going on with Anakin and Luke, especially if you want to tie it to the prequels, that really is the story. And I think if you look back at ancient myth a lot of times there's a character internal war or moral struggle that's going on over the backdrop of this really large scale war that's not as consequential as these characters kind of internal battles. So for me, it follows that kind of motif, and it just works. It's not really important to kind of dissect what would have happened. Not that you can't do it, but it's much more about just Luke's story, basically, right? So, it's kind of how I look at it.
The Outer Rim says, I guess if Vader wasn't with Luke, he would be in his TIE fighter, probably giving the rebellion issues with their attack.
Yeah. Or would he go down to the surface? Would that have been a game changer if Vader went down to the surface of Endor and
that could have been
opened a big can of whoop ass on all the Ewoks? Nerd would have been like, I'm watching this movie now. This is awesome.
That would have been what Vader had done. If he wasn't occupied with Luke, I think he would have went to the surface. I don't think he would have been flying. He would have had his TIE fighter or whatever to go down to the surface. But I think I think that everything happens because of what happens on the surface.
Yeah.
Like Lando and them are able to fly into the Death Star because of what they accomplish on the surface.
Right. And then it's almost like if there's no Luke, he'd have to be like dead because but it's all Ewoks. Yeah, it's just like two corridors of trees that Vader just done with all Ewoks. And Nerd is like cheering, eating popcorn the whole time.
It's the opening level to the Force Unleashed, but instead of Wookiees and Ewoks,
it's Ewoks. That's harsh, man. I think though for Vader though, like I don't even know if there's an option for him to do anything but pursue Luke. Like even if Luke's on the surface, let's say, like Vader's so that's just his whole thing. Even halfway through Empire, you realize like he's barely even concerned with the Galactic Civil War. It's like he's so stuck on this obsession of finding and converting Luke, because it has everything to do with his own hold on the dark side and everything. So I don't know. It's interesting.
On the dark side, the obsession with Luke, I think, isn't the fact that it actually wants like. The obsession with Luke is not a Darth Vader thing; it's an Anakin thing. It's an Anakin.
Well, that's what I mean. I mean his hold on the dark side internally is what I mean. Not in terms of a power struggle with the Emperor, but he's in conflict like even throughout Empire, right? So his whole thing with Luke and trying to convert Luke is partially because he's there's already a hint of Anakin coming out, right? And and I think that's hugely there, like after he kind of loses Luke at the end of Empire, and Luke chooses a death over converting or being with him or whatever. It's like he's just in so much conflict at that point that I feel like he feels this internal part coming out, but he can't contend with that. So this goodness coming out, so he's constantly trying to anchor himself to his own darkness, and that's connected with Luke. And I don't know, it gets really complex. There's a lot of ways you can start to look at it, which is why it's so cool.
How do you feel about Leia telling Luke that she's always known, or telling Han that she's always known, that like they were related with what we know that happens?
So she says that to Luke, right? Luke says, my sister has it. She says, I know somehow I've always known. I really like that line personally. It's just kind of like sometimes there's a vague understanding you have that you don't acknowledge in your own mind. I know the big problem with it people have is like, oh, but they kissed, but I mean that's they didn't know Leia was going to be Luke's sister when that happened, and at the time when these films came out, it was like 3 years between the films, right? So you barely even, remember that kind of stuff. Story wise, it never really bothered me. So I think it's kind of cool. I think it's kind of a little bit force oriented, maybe,
Yeah.
showing some glimmers of the force in her. And so I don't know. I think it's a cool line. I like it. Well, what's your take on it?
Well, I mean, obviously, like, oh yeah, like she made out with her brother. I think the line it's a very good line, especially because they really set it up in Empire. Like, if Leia
Yeah.
wasn't force sensitive, she wouldn't know that Luke was calling out.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So they've already kind of pre-spoiled it, and I don't know. I mean, I don't know what people were doing in the 70s and the 80s if that was good for
Lots of
them, but
drugs. Lots
yeah,
of drugs. No, I'm just kidding.
yeah, but like I think I agree with you. The line's a great one. I think it is very hard to look at though from the aspect of like, wow, she made out with him just to piss off Han, but like she also had a conflicted feeling like, I know this guy.
Yeah. 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 There's just, for me, you just have to have this kind of like, it's clear that they're manufacturing the story between episodes, right? And so, I mean, I don't know. For me, that stuff never really bothers me too much. Just kind of move past it. But um, yeah, I don't know.
See, I feel like Luke should have like just absolutely crashed the fuck out when he found out about that.
I was
Like,
saying,
you
yeah,
knew?
it's
You
like,
fucking
what?
knew?
Yeah, what's the deal?
Mhm.
Yeah. He's like, you are not the only hope for the rebellion. There's no way. What? Yeah. Yeah. I'm gonna go tell our
Actually,
dad.
yeah, you suck.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're gonna be in so much trouble when Dad finds out.
Yeah. 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 Cool. Okay, I have another question for y'all. Another deep question, maybe, and this could be applied to anything in Star Wars. I was thinking about recently, obviously a little more connected with the OT. You mentioned this a second ago, Clone. Just the degree and the amount of traumas that the main characters go through is just like it's freaking ridiculous. Like they're so traumatized in every, like, I don't know, basically in every film. Like you were saying, Luke, loses his aunt, his uncle, his best friend in the X-wing trench, right? He loses Biggs, he loses Ben, he thinks he's lost his father, right, at that point. um, and then he goes through these traumas in Empire with, he gets attacked by this snow creature. He's out in the snow. He almost freezes to death. He crashes what 2 or 3 times in Empire, 2 times, I guess. Yeah, and he has all these internal struggles with his own, internal darkness. He has this horrible revelation at the end of Empire. I mean, just like constantly going. He has his hand cut off. He gets his ass whooped. He's just like going through trauma basically the whole time, right? And I was thinking, oh, that's something unique to Luke. But I was thinking, actually, it's really everybody. Like Leia, like you were saying, Clone. Leia goes through all these
Mm,
traumas. Once she loses her planet, right?
yeah.
That's huge. It happens so fast you don't think about it, but that's really big. And then, yeah, I mean, she ultimately loses Han, right, in
Mm,
Empire, and potentially Luke, and I don't know. And then Han goes through all these traumas, right? He's especially in Empire, where he goes through this torture, and then like you don't really think about it, but like the carbon freezing entombment, is like that's crazy. Like he's in this whatever right state for. I mean,
Well,
sucks if you
he
have
also
claustrophobia,
suffers blindness.
and yeah, suffers blindness after that, and so they're just constantly suffering. And I think the motif of suffering in storytelling is it leads to growth of some kind, right? But and so they do that with the characters to a degree. But I don't know. I just thought it was interesting how much they suffer, and I think obviously Anakin, right? If you're looking at the prequels.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just a story of suffering, right? So I don't know. I just was interested in the idea of trauma in Star Wars and how much it's an informer in the characters and how much the characters change from their various traumas, or do they? Yeah, and just the kind of takeaways from that. But
Well, and now like with stories that we've got like in Kenobi, like Leia suffers more. Like she gets kidnapped and then has to go
yeah,
she has to go through all of that, and then that's more like then that leads to more trauma and revelations for Obi-Wan, who's off doing his own thing, and then you got young Luke being terrified by Reva, um, which like you have like they've
Right.
kind of just always suffered.
Yeah.
Because like Leia's like her adoptive parents have killed, and you can even say that she suffers when she finds out that Vader is her father. Like she suffers as well then because now
Yeah,
it's
that's an
like
interesting point. Yeah.
the guy that blew up my planet and killed my adoptive parents and tortured me because she was like
Oh
probed
yeah, her
on me.
torture in the first film. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
she
That's right.
gets tortured is all at the hands of her actual father.
Yeah.
And I mean, you could call it growth. I mean, they all like tend to grow from it until the sequels,
Hmm.
where they all, every single one of them resorts back to doing what they were doing, like in Episode 4. Like every single one of them didn't really learn their lesson, I guess.
Oh, you're talking about the key characters, like
Yeah,
the legacy characters. Okay.
yeah. The legacy characters don't seem to learn their lesson.
Have learned.
At
Yeah.
least that's how I feel about it. Like I'm not trying to be like too negative about it. That's just how I feel. Like why could they make these mistakes, or why could the First Order and all this stuff happen and Luke do what he does? It's kind of like those who um don't learn from history are bound to repeat it. Um
Yeah. Yeah.
or and now, but in terms of the suffering, I mean, it's kind of wild if you think like that they could even recover. That they could even
Right.
recover from
Right.
that level of suffering because like and now if he go like if Luke goes to see Yoda and Obi-Wan, they're pretty much going to be like, yeah, let go of it. Like let go of the feeling. And then it's like,
Right.
how do you just let go of everything that I've experienced in the last
Yeah.
4 years of my life?
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't, I mean, personally, I would
I mean,
never.
that's a good question. Like, how do they get through this suffering? I think a lot of it is just through the
Yeah.
friendships, right? The
Yeah.
togetherness, that it's collective suffering in a sense. Because if they're on their own, that would be tough. And I mean, that's a cool lesson. That's a cool, important takeaway. Which is kind of like, nerd. What do you think about that? If in the OT these characters are suffering, but it's their collective togetherness that allows them to weather that suffering. But Anakin in the prequels, it basically suffers alone, right? Like he doesn't really have a community of friends that he's going through stuff he goes through with, right?
Yeah. I mean, that's I don't know what else to add to that. I mean, fucking like the prequel era of Jedi, like obviously, like that's why Anakin suffered alone so much, is because every time he turns around, he literally tells his master, fucking Obi-Wan in episode 2, "Hey, I'm literally having vision like dreams about my mother dying. It's been happening for a month." And what does Obi-Wan tell him? "Oh, dreams pass in time, no big deal." And then what the fuck happens? His mother
Right,
dies in his fucking arms. But and fucking Revenge of the Sith literally goes to Yoda and is explaining these visions, the same ones about the same thing that's happened to his mother about Padme, but he doesn't tell Yoda that, and he just gets told, "Let go." I'm with
I think
Clone Force.
the
How the fuck do you
yeah,
just let that go? Like that's but the book does like great segue into somewhere in a book
somewhere in a book.
podcast.
yeah, yeah.
I actually just restarted the Revenge of the Sith novel, and it got to the one where no, it's just talking about Anakin's like inner thoughts and shit, and like he knows that like the Jedi prophecy, like Jedi seeing visions, like isn't like concrete, and he
Right,
knows that if like he goes to prevent it, he's going to inevitably uh cause it himself, but he doesn't think that that'll happen because he's the chosen one. Um, but just the whole like he has nobody to turn to.
right,
Literally nobody to turn to. Luke has everybody to turn to and still
right.
becomes a fucking little bitch in the sequels.
Yeah, sequel Luke that's a whole nother discussion. Yeah, yeah. What were you gonna
Well,
say, Clone? You
obviously
had
the
no. First
friendship
of all,
thing doesn't
yeah,
work because he gives up on it. He literally
yeah,
just gives up and goes to Octo. Like there was no talking it through and working it out with anybody. Not just
yeah,
Kylo or Ben Solo at the time. He literally just gives up and doesn't talk to Han or Leia like
yeah.
at all.
Yeah, yeah, that's a tough just story beat for me in terms of the sequels. Is like kind of like you were saying, Clone. Like not to be hating or anything, but I don't think it's hating just to be critical. It's like it just doesn't work for me. Like you've invested this in these characters for six to whatever movies for 6 movies for some of them, three for others, and they just kind of like don't feel like the older versions of themselves. Not that you always stick with the people that you're with when you're younger, you go your separate ways at a point, but the bonds that they forge are like
I
so
feel like
profound, it's like
yeah, I feel
really
like
you
the
just like
bond
drifted
from all
off and
that
that's
shit
it. Yeah,
from the original trilogy, they would
yeah,
have at
yeah,
least worked through it like they do all the
something, yeah,
other conflicts in the EU. But what do I know? There's
right.
no source material.
Right. Yeah, it's a tough beat that they're all separated and they just, all their ties are sort of fractured or broken in some way. And to Clone's point, the biggest issue for me is there's this reversion back to older versions of themselves, where they can be different, but I think that growth should still be apparent, right?
Yeah.
Because it's so profound, right? Even in Han's case, like his growth going into Jedi. I know his acting and his lines are a little hokier in Jedi than the other two, and we can
He just
certainly
wanted to be so
criticize
done with
Jedi.
the damn
He wanted
character,
to,
bro.
man, wanted to be done with these Star Wars things, man. But even in terms of the writing, whatever the delivery, but if you just look at his character, like he's profoundly changed, right? He's and I think back to the point about trauma, like he's he's just a different person, right? He's no longer super self-interested. He's no longer super materialistic, right? Which he is for most of the first two. Kind of shifts in Empire, but that those parts of his character are really changed by these traumas he goes through. I think one of the best things about trauma in the OT, probably because there's friendship and stuff around, is that it leads all the characters to be more compassionate. Like that's the takeaway from their traumas, right? Really, so with Luke becomes more compassionate by the end of his deal. Leia becomes more compassionate and open, and so does Han, right? And I think that's really a cool takeaway. And really, ultimately, so does Anakin, right? All the crap he's gone through in the prequels and then through the OT, but at the end, it's his compassion that wins out from all this, incredible amount of trauma. So I think that's one of the lessons there, anyway, that they're trying to explore. But Clone, you were going to say add something to something a
Yeah.
minute ago.
So, like when Nerd was saying that Anakin didn't really have anybody, like Anakin kind of, he had this level of exclusion to him, like people didn't want him around, like he was kind of like he's supposed to be this great savior, but people are very reluctant to accept him, so he's kind of outcasted. And then he's also like Qui-Gon is like, oh yeah, like I'll bet on you to win this race and get you your freedom, but unfortunately, like we can't get your mother. And he doesn't really ask him how that feels. Like an Anakin's like a young boy, like he's just ready to be a Jedi. Like he just
Yeah,
like he knows that this could be a possibility, but he doesn't know the cost of what it will cost him in the future, especially like as he's having the visions of his mother dying. And I think the issue with Anakin was that he doesn't know the difference between the dreams and the visions. And when he needed to be honest with Yoda about the visions, he didn't want to be, because the thing that he's had with Padme, like he's not hiding that from the council because the council will banish him. I think he's hiding it from the council because it's the first thing in his life that's truly his. So he doesn't have to tell anybody. It's like that's why like Obi-Wan doesn't know. Because like Outer Rim here said like House was the only one that he could turn to. Like Padme tried to have him talk to Obi-Wan, but like Anakin
Right.
thinks he's too entrenched. I feel like that like
That's a good point.
Obi-Wan is kind of the perfect person to talk to, because even though like he does side with the council on some of their things, like Obi-Wan has been there for him and has actually given him like lessons to learn from. But Anakin always takes his own path, and ultimately like he leads
It's
himself
willful.
in
Yeah.
yeah, he
I mean,
leads
you
himself
also
into his
gotta
own path of
think.
darkness.
You gotta think, dude. He tells Kenobi about the dreams of his mother, and his
Yeah.
mom dies in his arms after Kenobi literally just tells him that they'll pass in time. In my opinion, I'm not gonna go tell the same dude this about the same problem that I'm having. Like, you didn't help me the first time and it came true. Definitely not gonna fucking turn to you when it has to do with my wife. Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
But
don't know. Kenobi
Vis-
just he does. Kenobi grew up in the Order, bro. Like he
yeah.
did nobody understands anything that Anakin's going through.
I just think that that's the difference between the visions and the dreams, is that now like obviously Obi-Wan didn't understand, and it kind of led to Anakin kind of making his own decision because they were so close. They went to Tatooine, and like they checked on his mother, and then he slaughtered a bunch of people. But ultimately, like Obi-Wan didn't understand what was going there, but that was an actual vision where with what was happening with Padme wasn't like, it is a vision of the future, but it's only one of multiple. Like that was like kind of like a multiversal thing. That was one of many visions of the future that could have happened, and like ultimately, Anakin walked right into every single. Like Anakin chose the wrong path every step of the way, leading him to his own issue.
I mean, I'm just saying he's
Yeah.
still not gonna talk to Obi-Wan after he blatantly ignores
Mm.
everything about his
Yeah.
mother and then everything
Yeah.
about his wife going on. Like,
Mm.
I don't think he would have actually
Yeah.
helped out her him. I genuinely don't think that.
It's interesting. Yeah. And did one of y'all say this earlier? How much of it is that they sort of think Anakin is more advanced than he is because he's the chosen one or whatever? Like, are they kind of surprised that he has these weaknesses or these issues or failings or whatever? And they're kind of like, well, isn't he beyond that, or shouldn't he is part of that influencing their lack of engaging with him, on those topics? Or
I think most people accept Obi-Wan. Like Obi-Wan literally tells him in like Revenge of the Sith that like he'll be a far greater Jedi than he'll ever be. Now, I think Obi-Wan is honestly, um, even with his faults, the pinnacle of what a Jedi should be. Besides, like, there's only one person who I think is better than Obi-Wan, but I don't mean it in the terms of the show that they're in. The one person who I think really upholds the Jedi value up until they were put into a show was Vernestra of the High Republic. Like I think she is the best of what the Jedi have to offer in terms of the trauma that she endures. But then that gets changed around in Acolyte, and it like Nerd and I actually had a conversation in line of somebody who has also read the High Republic, and we actually had the conversation about Vernestra, and we're like, yeah, that character doesn't make any sense.
right.
But I really do. I don't know. I really think that Obi-Wan would have helped, especially because like his bond with Anakin is so much different. Like Obi-Wan didn't have to. Obi-Wan didn't have to choose to train him. Now he probably ultimately shouldn't have either. Um, but he chose like now one, it was like honoring his master's wishes to have this boy trained, but like I think a part of it was like seeing something in Anakin that Anakin couldn't see in himself.
Yeah, it's all valid. It's interesting. Yeah. Yeah.
It's a very interesting take. Every time I see Kenobi, I just immediately think of the meme of Qui-Gon telling him, like, hey, listen, fuck the council. Because, I mean, yeah,
Right.
in the Clone Wars, he has that moment with Ahsoka where he's like, hey, the council isn't always right, but yet he still follows everything the council tells him to do. Like, come on, brother. You were trained by Qui-Gon. Have a little defiance, a little more than what we see.
Qui-Gon's the reason why Obi-Wan doesn't have defiance, though, because Qui-Gon pretty much took all that. Like somewhere in a book, they literally write about how Obi-Wan is much like Anakin until he runs into Qui-Gon, and Qui-Gon literally takes it to a level that like Obi-Wan can't really compete with. And Obi-Wan like becomes this real like by the book guy, and also like he wants to have like a Padawan that acknowledges him and cares about him, and that's what turns Obi-Wan into who he is, because Obi-Wan was much like Anakin as a child.
I might have to read that book.
Yeah.
It sounds very interesting.
It's there's two books. There's Master and Apprentice, and then there's Master and Apprentice, and then there's Padawan.
Okay. Oh yeah.
And Padawan has Obi-Wan pretty much taking on a mission by himself to find, I forget what he's trying to find, but he finds a map by Orla Jareni, and Orla Jareni is a Jedi Wayseeker who is in the High Republic.
Sick.
Cool.
I love Orla Jareni. If you ever get to read about her.
I was when I'm at the bookstore or Half Price Books or something, I always look at the High Republic books, basically just for you, Clone. I just look at them for a minute and then I'm like, no, I'm not going to start reading them now. So I got there's like a million of them.
I was gonna,
but because if I start, then I'm going to do the whole thing. I'm going to do the comics and the books and everything, and then get even less done with my life. But they look interesting. They look cool. They look interesting.
The
I mean,
ebooks.
send me the ebooks. Yeah, yeah. No, they definitely look like interesting stories. So I have another starter question that leads to another question. The first question is, so Luke, when Yoda's talking to Luke, if you want to consider things outside of the original trilogy, I don't know why anyone would ever do that, but if you want to, Yoda's like totally off when he tells Luke, "When gone am I the last of the Jedi will you be?" Who else is alive at that point? Like,
clearly,
at this point,
everybody's favorite Togruta, fucking Ahsoka's out there fucking around doing fuck all.
She's no Jedi.
She's okay. Force sensitive, close to Jedi, whatever. There's Ahsoka. There's Grogu, who's alive at that point, right?
Yeah.
And okay, whatever. Force.
We don't know. We don't know how old he is. We don't know where he comes from.
We don't know what happens to him. Yeah,
he could be alive.
No,
we never
know. What's homeboy's name in Ahsoka
from
Rebels?
I was gonna say Cal Kestis.
Ezra.
Yeah.
Ezra's alive.
Ezra's alive. Sabine is alive. Yeah. Who else? Is there someone else?
Did we say Cal? Did we say Cal Kestis?
No.
Yeah, Cal's potentially alive.
Okay. So it's like
Balin's alive. Shin's alive.
Yeah, and they're kind of like, I mean,
what's homeboy's name? Kanan's son.
Oh, no, Jason. I think Jason's born after the Battle of Endor, because they mentioned the Battle of Endor in the series finale of Rebels, and Jason's like a baby.
Rebels season, everything in Rebel season 1, or everything by Rebels, I think that all takes place before A New Hope.
Oh, okay.
Well, I remember in season 4 of Rebels, they definitely mentioned the Battle of Endor, because that's where they canonically put Rex.
Okay. So there's like 4 to 7 potential Jedi or Force sensitive
Kanan
people at this
Jarrus
point, right?
dies in 0 BBY, so he dies literally like kind of before the Battle of Yavin, I think.
Okay. So
So
yeah, the question that I have about this is like it's a pretty important story beat in Return of the Jedi
hold
that
on,
Luke
we still got
is the
more.
last one. Oh, sorry, you got more. Go for it. Go for it. My bad. Add to the
Uh,
list. We're at 7 at this point.
Asajj is alive, right? Maybe
Uh,
now.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
Tails.
I'm not for sure. Anybody else?
Let's see.
It's Grog. Oh, well, we don't. No, wait, no, we don't know. I was gonna say Reva, but we don't know if Reva's technically alive or not at that point. Potentially alive, I guess. Question mark on Reva.
We can put Reva on the question mark.
Yeah.
No, she's probably alive.
Probably, right? Because it seemed, I mean, if they never follow up, you just assume she's not active in galactic events or whatever, goes off and lives her life or whatever. So,
I put in what Force sensitives are alive.
yeah, you look, you ask an AI.
Yeah. Barris. I think Barris was alive. She went off to do whatever.
Okay.
Yeah, Keller and Beck, he's alive.
Keller and Beck.
Yeah.
What is it? Because I put in. We're doing people alive like during Empire.
Well, at the point that Yoda tells Luke, "When gone am I the last of the Jedi, will you be?"
I mean, yeah. So this says Barris is alive.
Obviously, obviously Leia.
Around 14. This is the 5th brother, but that's not right. I don't know why the fuck I asked Grok. Grok gets everything wrong.
Yeah. Never ask Grok to make an image for you. It's not good news.
Force sensitives.
But back to the kind of point of this. So my question about this is that it's an important story beat, right? When Yoda says, "Last of the Jedi, will you be?" You have this sort of finality, and there's one more hope, Leia, and that's it, right? It's central to the story that we're telling. But then you start having material come out after Return of the Jedi that, if you're going by canon, you have to sort of read back into the story, right? So my question really is like, at what point does canon make, like, at what point is it too much? You know, is it like sort of eroding the fabric of the story itself, if that makes sense? Whereas the idea should be that it adds to it, right? Adds layers of texture that you can explore and enjoy. But at what point and in what way does it start sort of just like ripping up the basic foundation or beats of the story that can't really change?
Jod,
Jod, yeah,
Forgot about Jod.
Forgot about Jod. Yeah.
See, but all these people that we're gonna mention, now Grogu, I guess, would technically be the only one other than Luke to be like a Jedi. Like when we talk in terms of Sith Lords, you talk about the Bane lineage, and then you could talk about other dark side users. Luke is told like the last of the Jedi will he be, because that's the last Jedi that Luke has trained or that Yoda has trained. Yoda hasn't trained anybody else. Like though like if Cal Kestis is alive, he's done most of his training outside of that, and like he's done his learning with like Seer and I forget that other master's name who gets blasted. But and then Kanan does most of his, like he does learning at the temple and was a Padawan, but like that's Caleb Dune, and then there's Kanan Jarrus, and Kanan Jarrus has a whole other story arc. And then like Ezra is trained by Kanan, but Kanan never made the rank of Jedi Knight. So like it's kind of all these things that I think Yoda's message could be interpreted to be, you are the last of the true Jedi because you are the last person that I that I've trained that I know about right now.
Yeah. So you're kind of saying for you, it doesn't sour that line in any way. Like all these sort of add-ons doesn't really mess with
Yeah.
you. For me, it's kind of
Not
like
say Quinlan, but like,
Quinlan. Okay, yeah.
but yeah,
For
but
me,
Yoda
there's kind
doesn't
of like
know.
this level of mental gymnastics involved in making it all fit. It's kind of like this kind of Star Wars apologetics type of thing, where you're just like everything has to fit in perfect blocks, and I will make it no matter what. And it's for me, it's kind of like at a point. I mean, maybe some people would say a lot of. I was just using this idea of Jedi's as an example. I think to our point earlier, the sequels and how the characters are treated in the sequels is really hard to. You can make it work. You can make anything work if you try hard enough, right? But does it really work with the characters we met already? So I'm just wondering, like, at what point, if you keep building onto a world and retconning things in, at what point does it start to just erode the fabric of the story itself, like the key major points of the story, if that makes sense? Because that for me does happen with some of the new material that's out there. If I'm looking at everything in canon, I don't know if you guys agree with that or not. That's kind of my question, I guess. Like, is that an issue for you or not, or what's your you just go with
Obviously,
your head
like,
canon or what?
even if you go like the EU route, like Luke clearly is not the last Jedi or Force user, however fuck you want to interpret it. Like there's going to be plenty more. Um my only issue is there's so many Order 66 survivors that just keep popping up. I mean, we got the Legacy of Vader comics, which
Right,
literally follows Kylo Ren encountering Order 66 survivors. Like, at
right,
what point does it end, dude? Like,
right, right,
that's where it starts getting too much.
right.
Well, I think like when we like in real life list an animal as extinct, it doesn't also mean that there's no more of them. It just means that their levels have been drastically. Now it can mean extinct, like it can mean that there's no more, like there's no more woolly mammoths or whatever, but it just means that like there's no more of that species to be considered relevant to us or whatever, or they can't reproduce fast enough to make them like to make them a relevant, to say that their species is thriving, I guess to say. Order 66, though it didn't kill all the Jedi, it probably only left 1% of them remaining, if not less, which is enough. Like when you take them down from all their numbers that they had and you leave 1% of that thing alive, well, one, you have a 1% chance of what happened happening, where Luke gets trained and they overthrow the Empire. But ultimately, their numbers are completely diminished. You don't think that they will have an influence anymore. Because I think, now again, I think it's somewhere in a book. Like, I think there was somewhere where, like, Palpatine knows he didn't eliminate all the Jedi in Order 66. Like, he knows that that's a thing. That's why they create the Inquisitors and they do all these different things to try to eradicate as much of them as they can, because even one Jedi is enough to create some sort of an uprising. But they knew all along that they didn't get them all.
Yeah,
See, I
yeah,
get that. It's just, I don't know. It just makes it
yeah,
kind of then what the fuck was the point of the plan? Like, what was the entire point of that whole waiting and training and all that? I mean, that's why, like, if you watch the ranking video on the Sith, like, Palpatine's not a Sith Lord in my eyes. Like, dude did all this, gets 20 years of ruling an empire and gets thrown down a reactor shaft and blown into a billion bits, and then he can't even exterminate all the Jedi, like even like with the Inquisitors. Like, I mean, even in Revenge of the Sith, he does acknowledge, like, because Anakin does ask him, what about the other Jedi spread throughout the galaxy? Like, I don't know. It just at some point you got to fuck off with all the Order 66 survivors, because unless you're gonna actually start giving us like when do like years and dates for when these shows and movies take place. Because if I
yeah,
got to do mental
yeah,
gymnastics and do what I did with the Chimere stuff, You can just miss
Yeah.
me with any more survivors popping up.
Don't make
Yeah. I
that,
mean, I
but
think for me, it's just like an issue of do the pieces fit or not? Like I was saying, like
It,
you can
it,
always cram them into shape and make them fit,
yeah, you
but
always the biggest question I'm always left with when I get more of these survivors popping up is where were you during the original trilogy?
right. And so it's just, I guess for me, it's like it just the answer is that it doesn't fit. I mean, if I'm watching Revenge of the Sith, it's pretty clear that the idea is that the Jedi are wiped out. You know, like that's the story. And then you make a story after that and say, well, actually, such and such was happening. And so, and I don't think that that's problematic in terms of storytelling if you want to tell a story and explore, you know, some kind of Star Wars story. But it's hard for me to connect those pieces and say this whole thing of canon works, you know, as a unit together. And we all, it sounds like we all have our different points as to where that sort of bothers us. And we're like, okay, I can't do that anymore. That just breaks, you know, breaks the storytelling for me. Even if it's quote unquote canon because of who owns the property or whatever. But I'm just wondering, is there a point where it's, you know, for me, the point is pretty far back. I'm like, what? If it's not the OT, it's like, you know, whatever. But obviously that's, you know, it's different for everybody, right? But I guess in that sense, it's nothing wrong with enjoying these other stories and stuff. But I'm just wondering, is there a point where it can kind of become too much if it's not past stuff, especially, and you're reading it back into to stories and important parts of stories that have already taken place. I don't know.
I don't know how to phrase this
There were three other
the
Death
right
Stars
way.
you didn't hear about, you know, like
Uh,
okay,
well, no,
yeah,
there
I don't
was
know. I'm
like
just saying.
I think for some of it, like for like with what Nerd was saying, like oh, like if you have this thought, like oh, where were you during the original trilogy? Um, I don't like. I really don't know the proper way to say it, but some of those like the way that I want to say it, like it just sounds like who cares? Like who cares where I care where they are, but the galaxy's so big that not everybody has to take the fight to Palpatine. Some people are going to do their own thing and they're going to have their small they're going to have their part in it. So like you wonder where like you get introduced to Ezra and you're like, well, where are you during the original trilogy? Well, he's in a space like he's on Peridia and he's off doing like that. But they had their every single one of them has a role to play. Like they've all done something to help advance their cause. And it wasn't just Order 66 like killing off the Jedi. That's not the other. It was also turning the people against the Jedi. Like, oh, look what the Jedi have done. They left me scarred. Now, when somebody finds a Jedi, the people are not like there's still some people who know that that's a lie, but there's a lot of people who will turn them in and then we'll let them know like, hey, there is a force sensitive here. And then the Inquisitors come. It was really just a public initiative to turn the people against the Jedi. And like though like I guess the way that it really paints the picture is that they were all eradicated. Um they are all but eradicated. Like they are like 1% of what they are, if not less. So
Yeah,
like
but you'd think that they'd all want to kind of, band together and kick the guy's ass that, brought down their entire order and initiated that
Do something
entire
about it. Yeah.
public turn on the Jedi. That's just my personal thoughts. I mean,
yeah.
I don't know. I mean, yeah, Outer
But
Rim does bring up that we
you don't
do
know
have
who
the
all's
path.
left.
What?
You don't know who all is left. They all like Order 66 happened in so many different places that like Obi-Wan, like I guess to like the Kenobi show, he's like Quinlan was here. Like he knows like he's excited to learn that Quinlan is alive, but like how can you
Mm,
go around and find out
interesting.
where Kanan Jarrus or where Caleb Dune is, who now no longer goes by Caleb Dune? How do you find out where Cal Kestis went? How do you find out where all these people went when now you're like those names are now public enemy number one, and also they're being erased from any kind of history? Like the security to go do it. Like, yes, every single one of them would want to take it to the guy who did this to them, but they don't know how to band together again when everybody's against them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, like, we
Maybe.
see what happens in I say we, not OTT. But like we see what happens in in the Jedi Fallen Order and Jedi Survivor series, like, and how quickly that could turn. Like where Cal's getting trained, and then like there's a rogue Jedi who like just like after everything that he's been through, really just wants his daughter's safety and is willing to then betray the people trying to put the order together. And then you also have people like Cal Kestis destroying holocrons so that these kids get to choose whether or not they become Jedis, because one of the issues with the Jedi is that they indoctrinated children.
Which they kind of did with Anakin.
Yep. Well, Anakin was too old for them.
Yeah, that's weird too.
He didn't make it to he didn't get to go to Jedi Island.
How young do you have to be? How young do you have to be here? That's funny.
I mean, when to kind of go off the who cares thing, when you get like a character like Ahsoka, who's the Padawan of Darth Vader,
right?
Super you kind of gotta want to figure out what the fuck were you doing? Why didn't you kind of do something during this? Sure. Like,
well, that's why they wrote that she had to leave. Like, they pretty much wrote her. I think they wrote her story in a decent way. The issue is that they've kept her alive too long now.
Yeah, she should have died in Rebels well before Return of the Jedi. So we don't have this problem of where are you during the original trilogy. Because she's not on Peridia during the original trilogy. That's after.
Yeah.
So it's
what is it now? Right. What are we, 10 years after now, or 8?
That's another issue. I don't fucking know.
I don't know. Yeah.
I think we do have a definitive answer for that one. I think it's either 8 or 10, but we just don't know. OTT will never know because it doesn't.
I'll never know because I don't care. Don't care at all.
There's something I want to say.
Yeah, go for it.
Though it's not even related to this, but I was thinking about it when we were talking about the sequels. You know whose character I think is great in the sequels? I think Han's character is great. Like what he does and what he's willing to sacrifice in episode 7. Like I know Swinsky just did his video of like 7 things you liked about episode 7. You should have did 7 things you liked about 7, 8 things you liked about 8, and then
5 or less. Okay.
Yeah. But like I think like what Han was willing to do and what he was willing to sacrifice to even try to save his son after everything that he's been through, like his character actually has growth in that movie.
Yeah, it's a lot better than what Luke tried to fucking do.
Yeah.
I think he didn't even try.
Yeah. I think my struggle with Han, and I guess he's mostly in Force Awakens, is
love it.
He's just kind of like
back to being a smuggler.
Yeah, he goes back to exactly what he was. It kind of breaks his character arc, right? Like he's moved beyond this kind of life and these kind of values, right? Like we were talking about earlier, like that sort of his. What's that?
His makes sense in the way that like if you see like especially like with him and Leia splitting up, if you take like the stereotypical family and then like they're a good functioning family, but then they have a child that dies, whether it be like of overdose or like going to jail, and then now they're blaming themselves and they don't know what went wrong, and then they go back to the last thing that really made them feel like themselves and made themselves feel comfortable. One, most of those marriages usually wind up ending up in divorce because like if they get into arguments, well, that's the reason our son's dead. That's the reason our son's gone. Talking like this is the reason why all this stuff is happening. That leads Han to exactly where he should be in 7. If his son turns and they lose their son and they're blaming themselves and they're doing all these different things, that leads Han to be exactly where he is, and Leia is kind of exactly where she should be. The only person who's kind of out of place of where they should be is Luke.
Yeah, I hear what you're saying in terms of the reality. Like I agree with you that if couples lose a child or something, they may have tension and split, and that's not, of course, obviously not every couple, but it is a real life phenomenon that you see. But I think it's too much. Like if you have them split or you have them have tension because of Ben, or Kylo, um, I can see some of that happening. But I mean, like Han is a general, right? They
The
make him a
issue is
general
we
anyway
don't
in
know if
Jedi,
they
right?
split up before
And
or after
we don't know that
Kylo.
either. Yeah, that's true too. And Leia's, I just feel like they're too disassociated from what they were. Like, what was Han doing this whole time? Was he not part of this new republic in some way? Was
Well,
he
Outer
just
Rim says
lost
he's a bad
after?
smuggler, so
He's a bad smuggler. Yeah, it didn't
Right
work. Yeah,
after
yeah. It's
right
just kind of
after
like,
the Battle of Endor,
mhm,
Han kind of relinquishes. Like he is still a general, but like when he's ordered to do stuff, Han literally goes from what he's doing at the Battle of Endor to immediately going to Kashyyyk. They have this again somewhere in a book, the Aftermath trilogy, of pretty much
yeah,
what Han's doing, and Han goes back to the next thing that is on his to do list, and that was a promise that he made to Chewbacca to free the Wookiees on Kashyyyk, and that's what he goes to do for pretty much 3 books. Um, like that whole thing, like it takes place with what Leia does, like as kind of the aid,
yeah.
not the aid to Mon Mothma, but Han goes back to doing what he wants, and I think they even kind of have that conversation, like you're supposed to be a general, and he goes, "I'm Han Solo. Who gives a fuck?"
Well, yeah, I mean, even I think that's the problem though. Like, that's not the character
Yeah.
in Return of the Jedi, right? Like,
Yeah.
even if he's not a general anymore, or he's not
Mm.
deeply involved in the politics of the rebellion or something, you can see that. But there's a character shift that happens, right? That's like,
Mm.
that's not his life anymore. Like, that kind of life is not his value set anymore. But by the time of Force Awakens, he's like right back to where he was. Yeah, I'm a smuggler, trying to get out of tight spots, blah blah blah. Oh, I'm back on the Falcon. That's the part for me that does work. Not so much the exact nature of what is he doing on a day to day, or if him and Leia split up for some reason, or there's some trauma or something. You can explore some interesting ideas there. It's just like the tonal shift in their characters, I guess, that seems very different to me,
Yeah.
are a little too different from the arcs they go through in the OT.
Han's
Um,
always been a bad smuggler. He's
always
always
been
been
a
a
bad
bad
smuggler.
smuggler who's
He's always
lucky.
getting caught. Yeah,
And then this one, it's not where, like, I mean, that's
it's
all
not where
opinion. Like,
Han
yeah,
should have been.
you so many of us,
Heroes regress so
want
badly.
to
Yeah,
hear our heroes regress, but when the villain is your actual son, there is regression. You're not gonna. That's just
well,
gonna be
there's
something that
trauma.
they
There's
can't
trauma, but
recover.
are you
There's
going to
more
go
trauma.
back? Are you going to go back to something that's, is your whole value set going to change, from what you've grown into? I mean, I don't know. I hear what you're saying. I just feel like it's a little too far. Like,
Well,
splitting up with your partner or, your significant other, this kind of exploration I think is interesting, but I just feel like
well,
it's a little too much to just recast him as New Hope Han Solo, like, but he's old, I guess. I don't know.
I,
That's
I don't think his morals are in the same place as New Hope Han Solo, though.
mhm.
Especially um, with what he's willing to do and how he's willing to help in Episode 7. His morals are still exactly where they were. It's just that he is broken from everything that
Yeah.
he's lost. I mean, like we just talked about it at the beginning of this. Like if I went through that trauma, I wouldn't recover. There's a point where the trauma is too much to recover from, and Han and like
Yeah.
that wasn't recovered from. And like there's a lot of things that they could have done. Like
Yeah.
they hit us with a story at pretty much its peak. So like episode 7 is right when this new conflict is taking its peak. So now it's like now you're so excited to see Han, Leia, and Luke, and they're bringing back the original cast. Now, like it's funny that it was Mark Hamill who didn't want to come back after Han was like not wanting to come back for
Right.
5 or
Right.
6. Like so, it was Mark Hamill was like, "Hey, we don't want to do this," and this should have there was a balance of there was a balance of how to use these legacy characters because
Yeah.
and that balance wasn't right. in a good amount of people's opinion, even the people that like it, they can see that there was issues in the balance of the legacy characters. But also, I think the issue is that the sequel trilogy relied too much on the legacy characters, where they could have actually had a they could have just continued a story without heavily relying on them all making so many mistakes to just include them.
To just have them there in the first place. Yeah, that'd be another way to do it. Or I think if they wanted to go this route that you're talking about with Han, then it's just craftsmanship in the storytelling. Like I would need a scene or two or a few more beats that show me, okay, where something other than just this one.
Yeah, give us
with Leo where he, they talk about what jacket he's wearing. This kind of corny little scene. It's like, okay,
that's it. Give us 2 flashback episodes, but but put some action in between the 2
episodes. something, something. Give me a scene or two, I think that it's part of his storytelling too, though. Like, the scene where in Ben's home on Tatooine, where he first gives Luke his saber. Like, there is so much, lore and mythology in a few simple lines in that scene and somehow it works. Somehow it's enough for you to continue the story. And that's just, craftsmanship of writing and storytelling that maybe I think they at least could have included some of if they're going to do these kind of arcs with the characters. But but it's just a question,
And they relied so much. Like it's weird that Star Wars has kind of become one of these things where like it's now it relies on the literature to put you into so that you know what's happening next. So they have books leading up to The Force Awakens. They have books leading up to The Last Jedi. They have books leading up to The Rise of Skywalker. Now we are finally announced today. I think we are getting one that we should have gotten a very long time ago.
Yeah,
the legacy book.
Yeah.
Yep. We're getting a book that we should have actually gotten before maybe The Rise of Skywalker. Because it's a book about Rey and Leia. And I'm
Jedi training.
I'm so excited for it. So so down for that one. But it is, again, it's just another one of those no argument here. Literally no argument from this at all. Like I know me and Outer Rim disagree on some things. Cannot disagree with this thing at all. This is the most factual statement that's ever been made. But yeah. Well, but yeah, it's been so heavily reliant on literature, and I like the High Republic because it's its own literature. Like, it's just, if you want to know about this period, you're gonna know about this period. Like, they don't have, other than the Acolyte, they haven't done movies or whatever to where you have to understand what's going on. That's been the benefit of Star Wars, is that if you watch it, you know what's going on. Now it's like, okay, now I need to know something to know what's going on.
Right. It makes it a little, for better or worse, if you have these very popular films, let's say, the OT, and then let's say the prequels, it's available to the wider culture, right? So it has this resonance with the average person. It has kind of a wider reach than if you make it sort of more niche and you have to read all the, be doing all the stuff, then you become quote unquote a Star Wars fan. Whereas before you had Star Wars fans, but you also had fans of Star Wars, that were just average folks, because the story had value and had reach and that kind of thing. Vanishes a little bit when you make it so, intricate. And like you said, the modalities you're engaging with are all different now. You're reading and you're, watching this and watching cartoons and watching that. And it's a little bit.
Well, so let's see which one. It's in one of these books, one of the Phase 1 books of the High Republic, there's a character in here named Lorna D, and she's wonderful. And then the next thing you know, she's just, you don't know where she is. You do an audiobook, you think that she's captured, you don't really know what's happening to her. And then what do? They actually took her character from the books for a very long period of time, and then made a comic book series with her and with another character like Avar Chris. So now they're all doing that. And then eventually I think they like pull her back in for something else. And it's like, where have you been the entire time? Like, what have you gone off and
Yeah.
done? So now like I like I'll be honest with you, I don't do the comic books. Like I started it, I found out comic books just aren't for me. Um I just don't like them. So like there's certain storylines actually to the High Republic that I don't know because I just don't read the comics. And like it really like it was weird to have a character literally pulled from the books, removed from the book, put on a comic book run, and then eventually brought back in. And it's where the hell have you been? Like you said you were getting milk 4 years
As
ago.
as a very sexy person told me whenever I asked the same question about characters where they're at in the original trilogy, who
Yeah.
cares?
Yeah.
Who cares?
Yeah, it's true. It's a good point.
Like he's been waiting. He's been waiting. I
He's
knew
gonna hold on to that
Well, I
one.
mean,
I
I,
knew
I
He's gonna
wanted to
slip
do
at some
that when
point.
you were like the Vernestra Rowe thing, because like
yeah.
everybody says like, oh, that's not how Vernestra Rowe would act. Okay, Luke would not act like that in all the
Mhm.
from the books that I've read. The way Luke acts in the sequels, that motherfucker would not act like that.
Yeah.
You know I've compared those two though. I've said like I said I have my own like in Vernestra I have my own Luke Last Jedi thing. So I've given you that one. But I knew I had to find the right wording because if I hit him with the Charles who cares, I knew it was gonna eat at him.
Yeah. Yeah. That's funny. That's funny. But yeah, it's interesting to think about. It's also to your point about reach, or you were talking about, having to read all these books and everything.
Yeah.
Um,
That's
I
been a
don't know. I feel
problem forever.
it's been a problem for a while. Yeah, yeah.
Man, I can't
I
read.
guess anything, if you go beyond, I can't read. Yeah, if you go beyond the OT and the prequels specifically, it starts to get really,
Well, even in the prequels, dude, like I've been begging for a series of Kenobi training Anakin, and I always make the joke whenever I'm
yeah, yeah,
talking about the sequels of like, okay, well, who the hell is this character? Read the accompanying comic or second
right.
novels to figure out who the
To
hell
figure
this
out who it
person
is.
is.
Yeah, yeah,
Meanwhile, oh, hey, you want to know Anakin's training? Go read these like 45 different comic book lines and like
right,
57 different Legends novels that aren't canon anymore to get some form of information about his training. It's like,
right,
shit,
right.
dude. Why can't
Yeah,
we
it's a
just
lot.
why can't we just get it all in the movies or shows?
Yeah, it's a lot, and I think it opens up this interesting point, for me anyway, because I'm all nerdish about mythology, is that like I think the really strong stories can lend themselves to like an oral form of storytelling, right? Like this, you should be able to tell the story to somebody and for it to resonate with them. And I think, really strong stories in history, you can do that. And I think you can do that with, I'm not a huge prequels fan, but I think you can do that with 1 through 6. Like they're open to that kind of wider storytelling, let's say in the culture, right? But once you get outside of that, it's like it gets harder and harder to, summarize these, like to your point, these 800 books and animated shows and stuff in, in an communal oral storytelling form, right? It starts to not become mythology, I guess is the point.
Well,
It
like
starts to become something other, which is not necessarily bad, but it just changes forms and becomes something else,
in the Last Jedi, when Luke does like probably one of the greatest Force feats of all time, and then becomes one with the Force. In the novelization, he's told by Obi-Wan to let go, and in the movie, music. Like
Mm.
you get a John Williams score, and then he just disappears.
Yeah, but even I mean, I guess I got to read the book to get context. But like, what the hell is Luke letting go of? Like, why does he gotta fucking die, bro?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it was them telling him that like now that he's forgiven himself and with what he's just allowed to happen, like it's pretty much like he's gonna pass this baton to Ray, and now that he's kind of done this, he has nothing else left to accomplish right now. Which, um, like that's just I like how I interpreted it. I'm not saying I agree with it. I'm just saying like I think they wrote it like you have nothing left to accomplish. You've made up for what you've done wrong. You've given like you've told him that every word, like you told Kylo Ren that every word that he just said was absolutely wrong. Like he said, the rebellion's reborn today. He will not be the last of the Jedi, and like um all this stuff. And he's now like in that moment when he's saying those three things, like that's him freeing himself from all this guilt and allowing himself to be able to let go. Now, and also, I mean, in terms of what he was able to pull off, I guess I don't know what kind of toll that takes on a person's body to pull off. If
I
like that could kill him, but also
even
like
said that in my
who,
last Jedi
yeah,
video that's
yeah,
releasing tomorrow because I was
yeah.
like, I could just be like completely oblivious to the fact that this may just be taking a massive toll on somebody. I know it takes a massive toll because he has literally cut himself off from the Force.
Yeah.
But I mean, you want to cut yourself off from the Force and all of a sudden start using the Force again. By that logic, Kenobi should have died when he saved Leia from falling off the roof of that building.
Obi-Wan
So,
slept for 7 days after that. I was just kidding. Um,
That's funny.
but I think saving Leia from a building and then projecting yourself across the
it's
galaxy.
It's a little different, yeah.
it's
Yeah.
two different things, but I mean, same logic. Both cut themselves off from the Force, and then all of a sudden used it again. Like,
But
Right.
isn't it? I think what it really gets down to though is that like I guess it's actually irritating the fact that you even have to make a justification for why he died. Because
Yeah.
like I guess you don't like I mean there are justifications you have to like you can make for things, but like that one like even kind of just talking about it and like I'm totally okay with it being like such a heavy force feed that he dies, but it's still a justification that's just irritating to even have to talk about.
Yeah. You want the
Like,
storytelling to be a little cleaner, like
yeah.
something, yeah. So what about this 50 list, man? This
They
top
put
50.
Han
Is it just
Solo at
totally
number one.
whack or what? Yeah, that's wild to me that Han ended up at one. I love Han, but damn, really?
I don't think Han's even in my 5.
Not even in
Han's
your
not
top
even in
five.
my top 10.
Not even in your 10. Oh, snap. Okay.
But
Interesting.
it's funny because the movie Solo is in my top 3 movies
You liked
for
okay.
Star Wars.
You're a Solo fan.
Because of
That's
Chewbacca.
interesting. What are y'all's
So Han's
top
1,
one?
Vader's 2, Lucas 3, Leia's 4, Yoda's 5. Now Luthen's 6. Dude, I'm not gonna lie.
Mm-hmm.
I think I'm putting Luthen in my top 3.
Are you?
At Kylo Ren, I was gonna say Adam Driver. Kylo Ren is 7. Chewbacca's 8.
Chewbacca, really? Okay.
Obi-Wan's 9. Okay, where's Anakin? At least like if Darth Vader and Anakin are the same,
Is it the
then
same? Like, are they
nope. Anakin's 13. Obi-Wan still has the high ground. Suck it.
high ground?
Let's see. Yeah, Obi-Wan's 9. Rey is 10.
Jesus Christ.
Cassian's 11. R2 is 12. Anakin's 13. Grogu's 14. I'm putting
I'm
like
putting
I just
Grogu at 50. Get the fuck out of
I
here.
was just gonna say that, but I'm not actually gonna put him at 50. But he's gonna be
Grogu's
lower.
Yeah, there's very little to his character. He's more like a concept.
How dare you? How
I know.
dare you say that now?
I know. It's terrible. It's terrible. I mean, he's cute, but
You mean to tell me
that's
that him using the Force to steal snacks isn't a personality anymore?
yeah, it's rough.
He does pull off some amazing feats. I just think that there needs to
He
be a time
does.
where he can't do it. Like it sucks that every time that something bad's about to happen,
It's
Grogu
just
just
yeah,
uses
Grogu
the
does
Force
this
and
thing.
does it.
Yeah.
Din Djarin is 16. Lando's 17. I think Lando's too low.
Yeah, Lando's too
Ahsoka's
low for sure.
18. I think she's probably right where she should be. BB-8's 19. I love BB-8, but maybe.
I mean,
Darth Maul is 20. Mon Mothma's 21. I think I have two like, and this is why like I probably shouldn't hate on this list too much. I love kind of the real world ish Star Wars that we're like I like
Lore
Rogue
type.
One, and Andor.
Who's missing from the list then? Like who do you
Well,
see
Poe's
that's
22, C-3PO's 23, Finn's 24, Jabba the Hutt's 25, Boba Fett's 26. Boba Fett might be too high. Grand Moff Tarkin is 27. Padme's 28. The Stranger's 29.
Why is Padme so low? Jesus.
He's in
Yeah.
3 movies, man. What happened?
Yeah, the
Kinda did her
Stranger's
dirty there.
29. Deidre's 30. I think Deidre might be right. Chopper's 31. Chopper should be up there.
Yeah, Chopper should be at least like top 20.
Yeah, I was thinking him top like 12, 25. Kino Loy's 32. Kino Loy's cool, but honestly, I think he should be in the 40s.
And no, Kino Loy needs to be number 1 on the list. That man got me to like season 1 of Andor.
Everybody's favorite Sith Lord, Master Soul, is number 33. Qui-Gon Jinn is number 34. Right above Mr. Serial himself, Cyril Karn. Mace Windu is 36, which is still probably too high for nerd. Balin Skull is 37. Ezra's 38. Moff Gideon's 39. Rose Tico is number 40. Honestly, this is just gonna make me sound like every other person that doesn't like Rose Tico. But like Rose Tico is not even on the list. Like I'm sorry, I don't think that her character should get some of the hate that she gets, and like I feel bad for her, but like also
No,
get
the
off
character deserves the hate, not the actress. Character
but,
definitely deserves the hate. How are you going to teach the child soldier that war is bad? Get out of here.
The child soldier knows that war is bad.
That's the lesson she teaches Finn in the fucking in the Last Jedi.
She teaches him about love, whether he likes it or not.
Kylo.
Okay.
Is Wedge on this list?
41 is Grievous. 42 is Admiral Thrawn. Admiral Thrawn's in top 10 for me. Kanan's 43. Rex is 44. Babu Frick is 45. He can frickin' get off the list. Admiral Akbar is 46. Vice Admiral Holdo is 47. I think she's off the list. K2SO is 48. Neil is 49. And Asajj is 50. I like Neil. I'd put Neil at 50.
Is Wedge Antilles on the list?
Wedge Antilles is not on the list, and that's because he's a terrible pilot.
Yeah, that is horrific. That man all but blew up the second Death Star.
That man is a terrible pilot. No,
I think he's force sensitive. No wait. Yeah, Wedge Antilles is not on the list. Like and Neil is. I have an issue with Neil being on the list and no Wedge. I have an issue with that. That doesn't fly with me.
I think Neil could be on the list at 50. I think
Neil is not on this list.
Neil is better than Babu Frick.
Is Slice Noodles on the list?
No, Sice Noodle should not be on the list.
Was Max Rebo even on the list?
Max Rebo was not on the list.
Man.
R5D4 was not on the list.
Wait a second. Is Uncle Owen or Aunt Beru on this list?
Nope, neither is.
That is not acceptable.
Neither.
That is not acceptable. These people raised Luke Skywalker.
What is
I can't even know. What is this list? Show me this. Who do I write to?
Is Bib Fortuna on the list?
Bib Fortuna is not on the list. What's there?
Dang.
Dude, I'm gonna get roasted so hard if
Who the hell you tried to say?
Who are you trying to
Leia's stepdad.
Bail Organa?
Bail Organa? Is he not on the list?
The Organas are not on the list.
Dang, man. Dang. Is what's his face in the diner talks to Obi-Wan? What's his name?
Dexter Jetster.
Dexter, yeah, is he on the list?
Nope, Dexter Jetster's not on the list. Watto's not on the list.
I don't even think he said Boba Fett.
No, I did say Boba Fett.
Is Greedo on the list?
Not on the list. Greedo's not on the list.
Jabba?
Jabba is on the list.
Jabba's on the list. Okay.
I wonder what they based it on.
Jabba's on the list.
No, none. Jabba's the only Hutt on the list, unless you count Ezra Bridger.
Is Nia Nunn on the list?
Who?
Lando's co-pilot.
In the chat.
I don't even think Keller and Beck wasn't on the list.
Oh, they're racist.
Reva's not on the list.
They're sexist.
Nia
Nunn's
not on the list.
No,
no Mog.
He's not on there. Okay, he's not on there. What about I
Sabine,
love me
Sabine, Hera. So yeah, Sabine, Hera, the robot, Hu Yang. Hu Yang's not on the list.
General Raikan is not on that list. I love General Raikan.
There was a guy like I
Clone
think
is
his
like
name was like
that.
Rabid Squirrel who used to come in here and talk about Kit Fisto. Kit Fisto wasn't on the list. Thank God.
Rabid Raccoon.
Yeah, Rabid Raccoon used to come in. Yeah, Jar Jar's. I don't think Jar Jar was on the list.
None of the old school generals are on the list. That's wrong. It's wrong, man.
Nick Saint wasn't on the list.
And I said, what the hell was his name?
Uncle Owen and Aunt Beru
General Hux
only
wasn't on the
shielded
list.
Luke for the majority of his life, and they're not on the
Snoke
list.
Snoke didn't make
Dang.
the list.
Paid with it for their with their lives, not on the list. Dang, man, that's rough. That's rough.
Man, there's actually a lot of people like not on the list.
Well,
Like, because like
yeah.
Django's not on there.
Wait, R2's on the list, right?
R2 is on the list.
Okay.
None of, but R5D4 is not on the list.
That's okay.
Who else is on the list?
Well,
Sabe's not on.
Nerd's favorite character, Wicket, is not on the list.
Yeah, Sebulba's not on the list.
Sebulba.
Sebulba's not actually.
We can live with that. We can live with that.
Dude, my new lightsaber has a Sebulba font.
Dude, I'm jealous of that one. I'm so jealous of that font.
It's great. It's great. It's a great time. I will be releasing a video on that once I learn how to use it.
Yeah, now that he figured out how to actually charge the saber.
Bro, fuck you. You were the one. You said that I could charge it with the kill switch off.
Because my fucking saber, I mean, mine's not a Profi because I don't need all that fancy bullshit. But my fucking saber that's got a kill switch, I can charge it while it's on or off.
I bought it to prove a point.
Man.
That I could.
Yeah,
dude,
we all know about your attack on Big Saber.
Yeah.
Coming soon.
Tech, Hunter, Wrecker, Omega, Crosshair.
Is IG-88 on the list?
No.
Rex? Did you say Rex is on the list?
Yeah, he's number 44.
He's 44. Okay. Barely.
Bosk isn't on the list.
Bosk. No Bosk. No Imperial commanders from the OT. Nobody. Well, it was Tarkin. Tarkin's on there.
I'm like turned around now, just looking at the thing. B2 emo.
Nah, fuck B2 emo.
No Captain Antilles. Nobody who made serious sacrifices is on this list.
No Antilles.
Dang,
no versions of Antilles have made the list.
No one in the Antilles family is on the list. Wait a second.
Yeah.
No
Snap Flexley's not on there.
It's whack. This is a whack list, man. Not into this list.
Watto's not on the list.
Yeah.
Your Nestle Crunch is not on the list.
Yeah. Your Mr. Snappy Nex-a-Lot.
Who's what's the main Gungan's name?
Jar Jar.
No,
he's not
the leader one.
Oh, Boss Nass.
Boss Nass, yeah, he's not on the list. Jar Jar. I know Jar Jar.
He's the main Gungan.
He's the main Gungan. Yeah, I should have said the leader of the Gungans. Yeah, man, that's a lot of characters not on the list. That's a lot.
There's some that I honestly, with all that I've named, probably some that I'd have to leave off. But like, Star Killer didn't make the list.
No Star Killer. Does it have to be canon?
Never
Is it canon?
Star Killer.
Yeah. I don't know.
Is Mara Jade on the list?
No, I haven't read to see what their criteria was. I think it was every canonical era of the saga.
Canonical.
From OT to the sequel trilogy and beyond.
Well, it can't be pre.
No characters
OT?
outside of TV and film were not included. Hence, no Cal Kestis, no Markion Rowe, no Dr. Aphra.
No, but what if it's TV, but prior to the OT? If it's like Acolyte or something.
Well, they included the Stranger. That's kind of.
Oh, they did. Oh, okay.
And they included Soul
Okay, so it can
real
be as long as
No,
it's TV.
no Basil. Yeah, no Basil, no Bosk.
Yeah, no Bosk. Yep, no Bosk. It's wrong, man. I still can't believe this. No Uncle Owen.
If I
for
was
real.
doing 50 greatest
That is
characters, like, would you
messed
include
up.
like they're all kind of the same, I guess? Like the battle droids. Like, would you include battle droids as a character?
If it's like that would be like including stormtroopers or something or royal
Yeah,
guards. Yeah, I guess not
Yeah.
because it's it's not a specific one.
I would have included Sabe on the list at least.
Yeah, yeah.
Mm.
I would have included who's my favorite little character in Clone Wars? The little Wookiee. What's his name? Little Wookiee Jedi.
Gungy.
What is it?
Yeah.
Gungi. Yeah,
Gungi. Gungi.
Yeah,
Dude, they got his hilt. They got his hilt
my
on
favorite.
sale at the
It's
character
awesome.
warehouse for $89.
Oh, for real?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You gotta tell your brother to take a ride to Disney.
To go check it out. Yeah.
What else?
Yeah.
I'm trying to think
That's
of. They don't have Terra Sanube. He's like, what
Nah.
the fuck's a Sanube?
I know who
Yeah.
Terra Sanube is, but
No,
I
OTT.
don't. I'm
Yeah.
I'm just not even gonna act like I care. I'm just gonna be like, oh yeah, that's good. That's good. Or bad. I have no idea.
Terra Sanube is a good character. Yeah, I don't know. There's a lot of good people listed. Like now, like I mean, we could. I think like the three of us and Rat. No, well, we could do the four of us. Wrath, you down for like writing a top 50 based off of this same criteria that they're using? I think it is very subjective though, based off of what you like. no,
Yeah.
no droidicas.
No
No,
Droidicas.
Japanese Wrath, get it right.
No Droidicas.
yeah, no Newt Gunray.
No new gunner. Yeah, that's true. No Trade Federation guys. No.
No
None of
Zeb.
those. No Zeb. Yeah. No other Rebel pilots. Are there any other Rebel pilots on there? Biggs, Zev,
Nope. Just
Hobby,
just Poe.
Dak. Man. Jensen. Nobody.
Yeah, there's a lot.
Porkins. Nobody.
Every Konami.
Red Leader. Dang. Okay.
Characters outside of TV and film were not included. So
Rancor Keeper is not on there.
no.
One of the most emotional beats in all of Star Wars.
For when
That man is
I don't think I
crying.
could. I don't think I could realistically do a 50 right now. I'm just saying, like,
Yeah, at some point. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll actually have to
Oh,
bet
there
in
are
a minute.
two of them.
What's that?
I'm reading Rat's comment. He said, "No, there are two of them."
Yeah. No, there are two of them. Yeah.
yeah.
Oh man. Oh, the Phantom Menace.
I think
Oh.
if I were to do my list,
You
I
go.
don't know if you guys would agree with this, but I'd probably include Vader and Anakin as the same. Like they're gonna take the same spot on the list.
Yeah, I would put him as the same spot. It's the same character.
Yeah.
I'd obviously have at least 10 Ewoks, individual Ewoks, Chief Chirpa, Low Gray, Pop Blue, Wicked. I'm just trying to piss off Nerd now.
Yeah.
It's like they have names. What?
I know they got names.
Yeah.
They fly now?
They fly now. Yeah. They fly now. You know, they did have a pretty well planned attack
Chrysanthemum?
in Jedi. They were planning that for a while.
Hmm.
No who? No Chrysanthemum. Oh yeah. Yeah.
Force
Big
put
meaty.
May first.
I put OSHA before May.
Force put May first. OSHA and May. Yeah.
You must follow
OSHA.
OSHA or you're gonna get in trouble.
No OSHA, no May.
No Yord.
No
No.
Yord.
I'm gonna put
No Yord.
I'm gonna put the
No
heavier
Yaddle. No Yaddle. That's messed up.
No, yeah. I'm gonna put the heavier set Jedi from Acolyte on there for giving me hope. Thank you for being inclusive.
No Yaddle. No Cantina Bartender.
No Edie Karn. No
No Captain
Brasso.
Brutus.
Yeah, no Captain Brutus. No Brasso. No Marva. No Bix Colleen. No
Anyone else from Mando not on there? What is
Cara Dune.
Cara Dune, and who's the Carl Weathers character? What's his name?
His name is Carl Weathers.
Carl Weathers. Yeah, Carl Weathers.
Wait,
It's a very memorable name.
was Carson Teva on the list?
No.
The man is cameoing in everything except the top 50 list.
What about the Bill Burr character in Mando? He's not on there?
Nope.
Dang.
No, I think the only two Mando characters are Mando and Grogu.
Mando and Grogu.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
No
No,
Hotelier.
isn't the bad guy on there? The bad guy from Mando. What's his name?
Oh yeah, Moff Gideon's on there.
Gideon, yeah. Moff Gideon.
Yeah, but they didn't include Bo-Katan. They didn't include.
Oh, no Bo-Katan. That's messed up. She's all over the Clone Wars.
Yeah, Grief Karga.
Grief Karga, yeah.
Oh,
what is
Carl Weathers?
Who's Bo-Katan's sister?
Satine.
Satine, yeah.
No, the biker gang. Yeah, no biker gang.
No, the biker gang. Yeah.
No Cad Bane.
Oh, no Cad Bane.
No Cad Bane. No Fennec Shand.
No Hondo Onaka.
Yeah, no Hondo.
No Hondo. Oh man.
From Onaka Enterprises.
He's like the only reason I watch Clone Wars episodes. If Hondo's not on, I'll just turn it off. I'm like, oh, it's not a Hondo episode.
Dude, where the fuck is this
done? Yeah, it's a lot of characters they missed. I mean, a lot of.
Yeah, how's it feel, nerd? How's it feel to have to go through all your cards and not find the one that you're looking for?
Well, see, the thing is, I found the one I'm looking for. No, the mayor from the Book of Boba Fett.
Oh, yeah. No, the mayor.
Yeah, CloneForce. I have one box of my cards.
No,
it just says card singular on it. Card.
What is what's the name of Captain Capes?
Or is Jyn Erso on it?
No, Jyn Erso's not on there. What's the other? No Saul Guerrera. What's the other guy? The director Krennic. No director
Krennic is not on there. Like, is anyone from Rogue One on there other than Cassian?
K2SO.
Okay.
He's like number 49?
So like
Alan Multipenis.
None of those. None of those. All those people who died on Scarif. None of those are on there.
No.
That's a mess.
Where's Tico's on the list though?
Yeah. What about her sister?
No. Grand Moff Tarkin.
Is DJ on the list?
DJ's not on the list.
Is Snoke on the list?
Snoke is not on the list.
Wow.
That was one of the first ones I named off that I saw that wasn't on there.
Snoke is not on the list.
Yeah, Cassian's number 11.
He needs to be fucking off the list.
Get out.
No Snoke. That's wrong.
Oh, I don't tolerate your opinions now. Get out.
Is what's his name? Who's the guy from Andor, the Imperial guy who's dating Dedra?
Cyril? Yeah, Cyril.
Cyril's on the list.
Cyril's on the list? Okay.
Serial killer's there.
Cyril is on the list. Is Cyril's mom on the list? Because
no Bodhi Rook. No.
Cyril's mom's not on the list. Okay. What was that, nerd? You were gonna say?
I was gonna say, he came to Rebel ScumCon. The dude who plays Cyril Karn, and the highlight of him coming was him falling on a couch. So
wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, he did. Did he do the thing? He did.
He did the thing.
He did the thing. Oh, that's fun.
That's wonderful.
That's cool.
I'd pay to see that
guy. Who else is on there? Yeah. It's wild how many people aren't on the list. Is Sulu on that list? What about Data or Riker? I'm trying to get Clone to watch Star Trek. Nerd.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
What about Spock? Is Spock on the list? Well, I'm gonna get to it. It's gonna happen. We're gonna start a channel. Nerd and Clone.
We've listed
Star
off
Trek journey.
Dude, I can't even make content now. What are we talking about? Dude, we've had to at least name like more than 25 people, right?
I mean, there's a lot. I mean, some of them are silly ones, but there are some key ones that aren't on there that is pretty
Yeah.
surprising. Like, I mean, Rogue One is like a lot of people's favorite movie, and the main character is not on the list. Like, that's interesting. Yeah,
No DE driver.
Yeah.
yeah. That's
No
wild.
dirge. No shaggy. Get out of
Yeah.
here.
Yeah. This list is not cool, man. Han
I
is
just
number
don't
one on the
know.
list. That's
Like, let
interesting.
me. I don't understand why he's number one.
Yeah, that's
Would he be in your? Would he be in your 5?
my top 5 characters.
Yeah. Like if you were doing this list, like if you, I don't want to like
Yeah.
put you on the spot if you don't. fully
Yeah,
know.
no, I'm trying to think. Like, definitely Luke, definitely Vader, definitely Yoda. Those 3 would be like up there.
Well, that's like all the characters in the movies that you actually follow. So
Right. That's it. Yeah, that and a bunch of stormtroopers and Jawas. That's it, man. No, yeah, those 3. Yeah, let's say I'm sticking with the OT as Hana, even a top 5 character in the OT. That's an interesting question. Yeah, he'd probably be in. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Ben, Han, maybe Emperor. I don't know. I'm not for sure. I think so. I think he'd be in the top 5. Maybe he'd be 4 or 5. Not 1 though. It wouldn't be 1.
So it looks like
One is pushing.
the way that they did this, and if we wanted to do it, it'd probably take us a while. We'd have to set up. I'd have to set up something in order to do it the way that they did it. They had people vote on characters, and then the amount of votes is how they made the list. So this isn't somebody like even though it's written by Ben Travis and Jordan King, this isn't like this isn't their list, if that makes sense. Like this is a voting list, and the top 50 like that got votes. Now I wonder what they put for the criteria. Like, is it like you can name 1 character? Could you name 5? Like give us 5 characters and then add it up? Because you have to know how they got to this criteria for like how some of these big names got left off.
yeah.
Yeah.
Like they probably went up to like a bunch of people and said, "Give me your favorite Star Wars character," and then just took it off of that.
Probably.
Right.
Which like, how's Rostica still at 40?
Get going here, boyos.
Yeah, I got to do the same,
I want to
man.
go get something to eat, and I'm kind of tired.
Yeah, look at this. If Kyber's watching, he's probably like, "See, I told you." You had a conversation more than an hour.
Yeah.
And no
Cool.
Closet never joined the
Well,
channel.
he did not. That's all right. We'll
It's
get him
because
next time.
he's with it's because he's with Big Saber now.
He's doing his thing. But hey, I appreciate y'all's perspective, interesting perspective on my nerdy questions. Thanks for your thoughts.
If you got more,
As
shoot 'em
always.
at us.
Yeah, for sure. But I guess I will catch y'all next time.
Yeah, it's been wonderful. Thank you guys for hanging out.
Yeah, thanks y'all.
This is a
Appreciate
great time. Thank you. Peace out, everyone.